Who or what is devouring the food in this temple? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see if I could spot a thief going in. But do you know what I saw?
I have no idea.
Nothing. Nobody entered. And yet when I went to take a look, my offering was gone. It is bizarre, is it not? When I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in, and to my dismay, he was never seen again.
Okay, where is the Temple of Demeter?
It is the only Greek temple in the city. Head towards the baths, and it is the last building on your right.
I'm off to the Temple of Demeter then.
I do not think you should pursue this, my friend. It would break my heart to be responsible for 2 people disappearing. But you do not strike me as a kind of person to be deterred by such warnings, so just be careful, I beg you.
Alright. Oh yeah, because I didn't get Galerius. Oh, it's there, that's right.
Help!
Let's see what I can do. Do not go in there. I have a bad feeling. There we go. We don't need to start with the assassin. It's fine. Oh. That's right. Yeah, it's because you go behind it. And boom, there's a trapdoor. Ta-da! Search the Greek temple for clues to Kabash's whereabouts. Search the tunnels for Kabash. Right, so it was the temple. I didn't even know I could go inside it, to be honest. No wonder. I had no idea where I was. Here we are. And we have another stranger. Ask the old man if he's seen Kabash.
Ah, a visitor. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
It's TRW.
It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here?
I found this place by accident. I'm looking for a plaque that was removed from the obelisk.
Ah, yes, that cursed thing. I know exactly where it is. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I've been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule?
I have. Pluto, god of the underworld.
Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue?
Sounds easy enough.
Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong?
I'm not sure, it's a complex question.
You are an overthinker too. We're the same then. It is probably why I became a philosopher. But if you struggle with right and wrong normally, then down here with the Golden Rule, surely your struggle can only have become more difficult.
It is.
Well, that's reassuring. And the truth is, you're not alone. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable, because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree?
Whose version of right or wrong, or right and wrong?
That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing.
Okay, so if there's... Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct? There's more than one.
How can that be? Since they all have differences, it follows that in some cases they would offer different conclusions about what is right and wrong. If there is a correct moral code, then wouldn't it follow that only one can be the correct one?
The correct moral code depends on the laws and customs of whichever society you're in.
You know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus, the scribe from among my people who lived some 400 years ago. He told the story of a man named Darius, whose curiosity was piqued when he learned that a certain tribe had the practice of eating their dead. He asked some Greeks who burnt their dead, "What would it take for you to eat your dead?" Aghast, they replied, "Nothing." Then he asked the tribe who ate their dead, "What would it take for you to burn your dead?" "Nothing," they replied, equally aghast. From this, Herodotus concluded that custom is king, that right and wrong are merely local ideas which do not survive the journey from one tribe to another. I take it you're in agreement?
Yes.
Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead, and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct?
I suppose not.
And that's a credit to you. It is the mark of a civilized person to change their position when presented with a superior argument.
Wait, I want to change my answer. What's your point?
My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong.
Fair point.
If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them.
True.
And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
I agree.
I'm glad to hear that. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your question.
Hey, what is his name? What's your story?
You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story.
I'm listening.
I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern in an argument with a drunk mercenary. It became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life.
Hermit is strange areas.
Fire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed.
So he's aware he's dead.
Made friends and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny.
Hades? You mean Pluto?
They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades.
Why can't you return to the surface?
My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again.
Okay. Why can't you tell me your name?
I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake,
Okay.
that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive.
He's just the hermit philosopher. Where is everyone else? Dead?
I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years.
Okay. How have you survived down here?
Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner.
Talk about something else.
As you wish.
Do you know a way out of here?
If I did,
Good point.
would I be living like this?
Stupid question. Understood. What do you think about the golden rule?
Did we not discuss it at length already?
I guess so.
Oh, I see. You're toying with me.
Ha! Do you know where I can find a plaque that was removed from the obelisk?
You seek the plaque bearing the Egyptian inscription.
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to give it to you if Kabash had not already taken it.
Alright, then tell me where Kabash is.
I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans.
With you so far.
However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, and it is the very thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription.
Go on then, lay it on me. Who do you think this is? But yeah, because he said he's Greek and a philosopher. What did it say?
We had no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden.
Okay, yeah.
Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined.
Diogenes.
I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail.
Should do. Does it look like him? What's in there?
There are certain things you must see for yourself.
Oh yeah, this is the second part of the game,
You needed to open the gate.
where it's slightly more action-y. God, this is a bent key. Sheesh. What's your key to the metal gate to the catacombs? I'll be going now.
I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes?
Mm-hmm. I will. The Hermit Philosopher. Alaya. Alia. I can't remember how you say that. Played by being strummed with a plectrum. Oh. I mean, this looks familiar. A large tub, which has been converted into a rather eccentric bed. Near the catacombs. A friend of the philosopher. This may be one of the philosopher's 11 friends who he outlived. Another one. Oh, that's a jug. Another one. Says 3. It is Diogenes. To be fair, you couldn't see the tub because I was facing him. The tub was off to the right. Even as I ran in, I don't think the tub would have been visible. I'd say this is the second part of the game where it becomes slightly horror-esque. What I mean is you come across statues that chase after you. There is one in here somewhere. In there? Oh yeah, there he is. Aha! I see you. Oh my god. There we go. Got him! No, I'm pretty much 99% sure. It more than likely is, to be honest. Seems to be locked from the other side. Yeah, this is another area where we do have to fight some of the statues. Not really a big deal. They're fairly easy to deal with. I think. The hardest part is knowing when they're alive. Because I can't tell which ones are which. I don't believe it does. Or at least I never managed to get that to happen. What's this? An Egyptian plaque which translates to "the many shall suffer for the sins of the one." Oh, this has been going on for a very long time then. It's also why this place gives us a lot of arrows. Can I do this? Oh, that isn't... Oh. Well, that one's alive. You kidding? Whatever. I'll just waste 2 arrows at a time. It's fine. Oh, there we go. Hey, nice. Perfect. In fairness, I think this might be the only room where you do actually fight the statues. There isn't many of them. There's not much combat in the game. Egyptian statue of a lion. Description is only partially visible, but 2 words can be made out. Aka and beneath. Oh, you're not alive. I think Kabosh is down here, isn't he? Yeah, there he is. Oh, he has a little tent.
Stop! Do not come any closer. Who are you?
I'm TRW. Who are you?
I am Kabosh.
Kabosh.
And let me guess, another Greco-Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors,
I'm just looking for an Egyptian plaque.
To what end?
I want to return it to the obelisk.
That is welcome news. You really are not Greco-Roman, are you?
Nope.
I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain. Here, take it, and restore the honor of Osiris.
Okay, so there we go. The Egyptian plaque. A plaque bearing a hieroglyphic inscription, Osiris, Lord of Silence. Thanks.
Now, as for the other plaque.
The false plaque? You know about that?
Indeed, I have it right here.
Oh.
I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was.
May I have it?
You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it.
Why?
Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie.
How so?
I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is?
The Egyptian underworld?
It has a name, and that is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story, and here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew.
So what's the problem with this plaque?
It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more.
What does the inscription say?
You will never know. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the black abyss below in Osiris's name.
Please don't.
You are too late. It is done.
No! Venture beneath the Egyptian underworld. I'm gonna have to go in after it.
You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
We'll see. First, I have some questions for you.
If it will help you to see reason, then ask.
What's your story? Oh my god.
I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city the Greeks built over it. I was a fisherman, like my father before me. Since the Romans had taken over from the Greeks, I took the opportunity to learn Latin and eventually traveled to Rome. When the fires broke out last year, I tried to help. I gathered terrified locals into my boat and led many of them to safety farther along the Tiber.
Yeah, I thought we did too.
On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for his brother. But we were full to almost sinking, and smoke was all around us. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to bribe me by placing a coin into my hand. When I refused, he drew a dagger and thrust it between my ribs. I awoke on the banks of the river to a stranger wearing a ram headdress. He said his name was Kerti, and at the time, I simply thought him odd. It did not dawn on me until much later that he was the Kerti, the ram-headed ferryman described in the Book of the Dead.
Do you know a way out of here?
This is where I belong, as caretaker of the memories of my people. If our ways are to be remembered, it falls to me.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
I think if someone is to break the Golden Rule, it will not be me, for I try to live as I always have by the command of the goddess Ma'at. Do to the doer to make him do. As for the punishment that will come from it, I finally understand why it has long been said among my people that gold is the skin of the gods.
What do you think is down there?
I do not know. What could possibly lie beneath the underworld? Perhaps it is infinite darkness. Perhaps it is the lair of Amit, the devourer of souls. All I know is, it would be unwise to venture down there.
Yeah, but I need... That just makes me want to go down there even more.
Is everyone so contrary where you are from? Do not even consider it.
How are we going now?
Be gone from this place. Wait. You are planning to go down there. I see it in your eyes.
Definitely.
You would plunge into the depth.
I'll find a way back up.
We shall see.
Oh, there's water down there. 360! I'm just waiting for my legs to just go crunch. Sumerian plaque. Plaque bearing is a cuneiform inscription, Nurgle the Fierce One. Oh. Alright. I'm pretty sure there are no statues to fight here, it's literally just a spooky place. But I could also be wrong. Collect all 4 of the stolen plaques. What are you pointing at? Through here. Oh. An ancient stone tablet. Whoa. Stranger, heed the final words of Namkuzu, bear witness to our aftermath and lament us. We did our best to live as the gods commanded. We planted and harvested together. We shared bread and beer. We accepted newcomers with open arms as if family. But with each newcomer, the bonds of our family strained, and soon we were as strangers to each other. And when those bonds were finally broken, my brothers and sisters planted only for themselves and ate and drank alone. And it was there in the empty space between us that sin took root. Nurgle sentinels have awoken and clamour at the barricades. Learn from our mistakes. What I would guess that says. Oh dear. Oh! Oh no, it just barreled through the statues. Jesus, okay. Well, that set that off. A barricade? And a rotted set of barricades. It looks like these Sumerians were trying to defend themselves from something. The Golden Rule, perhaps? Didn't really work, but, you know, maybe. Pottery. Broken set of Sumerian pottery. I'm wondering if there's going to be another, like, stone... Oh. Oh, it's another Sumerian plaque. Translate to the sins of many... Okay. Strange object. A strange stone object in the shape of a suitcase. We'll probably never know what it was for. Okay. Oh, another one. There he goes. Yeah, that's where those spikes are. Jesus. All this camera shaking. Oh, I can't go any further. Oh. Alright. Oh, we made it. Yeah, we're out of here. Surprisingly. It didn't take it that long after all. Who would have thought? What?
When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise. You will die here.
There's no need for this to end in violence.
I disagree. I warned you against coming down here, against perpetuating this sacrilege, but you persisted. You have undermined and dishonored the true god of the underworld. How did you think this would end, if not with bloodshed?
Just hear me out.
Very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception, or if you further insult my gods, I will carry out my threat. So tell me, why should I let you live after you salvaged this instrument of blasphemy?
Since it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. I'm just trying to replace all the plaques. It sounds like it can be destroyed by the truth. There's no shame in building on the works of people who came before you. I don't really know what I should say.
That may be true of many things, but this is different.
Is he wearing paint?
If our gods were copied and corrupted from an older civilization, does that not mean they are false?
I think it's like war paint, but I'm not sure if it's a shadow.
Our prayers to our gods all fell on deaf ears because we were not even addressing them by their true names?
The prayers to our gods fell on deaf ears. Okay. I think it's just lighting. Okay. Oh, if gods exist, isn't it possible they each have more than one true name?
Now that I think about it, my people would sometimes call Osiris the god of many names. Perhaps it is so. But the underworld of my people is so different to this one, and so unlike the way it was described by our priests. Many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good lives so that we may descend to the Duat in death and be judged accordingly. We prepare to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales and to swear ourselves innocent of sin before the 42 assessors of Ma'at. And yet, I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. And now I ask myself, did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all our lives simply to trick us into obedience?
You can blame your priests for that, not me. Isn't being a good person a worthwhile pursuit in and of itself?
I am not sure I follow.
Okay, it's lighting.
Plainly.
Considering the paint is moving, if it was paint. Even if your beliefs about the afterlife weren't quite accurate, isn't the important thing they motivated you to live good lives? Yeah.
Perhaps there is some truth in that. What is your point?
Are you going to abandon a lifetime of good character now that it matters most just because you found out you were misled?
You are persuasive.
Some call me the silver-tongued devil?
I will let you live, and you may do what you will with that plaque.
Good.
I will remain here for a while and attempt to learn what I can about the foundations of my people's beliefs. Go.
It's such a weird lighting issue, though. It looked like war paint. Oh yeah, the water's rising now. This place has been buried by the water. Oh god. Yeah, there we go. What a weird issue. Oh wait, I can speak with him, can't I?
You again. What is it now?
Oh, never mind.
Oh.
I thought I'd need to get a key out of here or something. Never mind. It's a very dark place. So where does this actually bring us? Oh! It did say it was locked from the other side. Huh. Oh, there you go. So that's the fourth plaque.